Hi there, I'm Michelle the Painter, and this is Cookies in Canvas for Kids. All right, so today we're going to be painting Happy Goldfish, and I'm going to be eating some nutty chocolate chip cookies. So let's paint our canvas and eat our cookies. All right, so for the materials today, we're going to be using a stretched and primed 16 by 20 canvas. You can get this at any of your local craft stores or online, and of course you can switch up the size, but that's what I'm going to be using. I will be using acrylic paint. The colors I'm using are titanium white, cobalt blue, phthalo green, Mars black, fire red, fluorescent orange, and chrome yellow. And of course you can switch up the colors if you'd like, but those are what I'm using. For brushes, I'm going to be using a 1/2 inch wide bristle brush, a number 12 round brush, and a number 2 round brush. And I'm going to refer to them as small, medium, and large throughout the painting process. And I just dropped my pencil, so hold on one second. All right, you need a pencil too. I'm just using a number 2 pencil for our little sketching process we're going to do. You're going to want a cup of water for washing your brushes, and you'll also want a paper towel for drying your brushes. And I will be putting in the description below the video a downloadable image of the final painting. So you can print that and use that as your visual reference throughout the painting process. There'll also be text for the step-by-step directions. And I'm also going to be providing you with a yummy recipe for my nutty chocolate chip cookies. It's in the description. You can print it and make your own cookies. And that's all you're going to need. All right, so what we're going to do for the first step is we're going to do a basic outline for our goldfish. I'm going to be making one large oval for its main body. So what I've done is I've made 4 little marks. So what you'll want to do is come down about 1/3 of the way down your canvas and make yourself a mark. You're going to come up about 1/4 of the way up your canvas, make a mark. About 1/3 of the way over on the left-hand side, make a mark. And about 1/3 of the way over on the right-hand side and make a mark. And now you're going to connect those with an oval. So you want to make sure you keep it in like an oval shape as opposed to a diamond, because your head's going to want you to just connect these dots and it'll look like more of like a diamond. So you want to make sure you keep it nice and round. And then we're going to do a head, which is going to be kind of an oval type shape. So I'm going to make a mark about halfway between here and the top of my canvas, so somewhere about here. And then I want my oval to be as wide as here. So you can come right about up here, make yourself a couple more marks, 1, 2. And then I'm going to connect these to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself an oval, connecting my dots right to here. And then what you can do is you're going to close this off a little bit. So that way the head comes more, so you don't have a really skinny part for the neck. So something like this. And then we're going to make a little pointy part up at the top. Kind of like a triangle. And that's all we're going to do for our initial sketch. All right, so what we're going to do for the next step, we are using our large bristle brush. We're going to be painting the water, and I'm going to be using white, blue, and phthalo green. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up all 3 colors at the same time, and I'm going to be making X's, and I'm going to do them really fast. Every time I go to pick up paint, I'm going to pick up a different combination, like I just picked up white for this time. I want them to go all the way throughout the whole, I just picked up blue. You want to get it right up to the edge of your fish. and then you're going to create just these X's. And what's going to happen is these are going to look like little waves throughout the background of your canvas. It's going to look really cool. You can use a lot of paint if you want to, and I'm just going to kind of keep going here and making these X's. So I'm using a color combination of white, blue, and the phthalo green. You can have them all on your brush at the same time, or you can, sometimes pick up just white, sometimes pick up just blue, but I don't wash my brush in between when I pick up these different colors. So that way what's going to happen is I'm going to have a nice variation of the different colors throughout my water area. And you can see it almost looks like I've got these little waves going through in the background, and it looks nice and like a tropical ocean because it's got these nice bright kind of greens, aqua type greens in it. And again, you want to make sure you get it all the way up to the edge of your fish, so that way you don't have any spot that isn't painted. And I'm just going to keep going with my X's. You can kind of skip around if you want to. I'm just going to kind of go a little bit fast to fill in the spaces. And you can see my brush is going pretty fast. I'm really not too caring if I do a beautiful job, because the more kind of chaotic and messy looking this is, the more natural it's going to look to the water itself. So again, I'm just kind of skipping around here. Every time I go to reload my brush, maybe one time you pick up more green, maybe one time you pick up more blue, and I'm just doing these X's. And again, you could do circles, you could do dots, you could do any kind of brush stroke you want, but if you want it to kind of resemble these little waves off in the ocean or ripples in the water, the X's help to make you do that. And I'm just kind of skipping around here, making sure I've got everything colored in. I've got a little bit left on the bottom to do. So again, I'm just reloading my brush and making sure I get all the way to the edges of my canvas. My brush keeps hitting my easel and making a little clicking noise. So if that's what you hear, sorry about that. That's what happens when my brush just whips around and goes super fast. I stop paying attention to it making funny noises and hitting things. All right, so I've got my water as colorful as I want it to be and as filled in as I want it to be. I'm just kind of checking all my little spots, make sure I've got them all painted in. And then we are going to switch brushes to our small brush. So after you get done this step, you're going to put this large brush away in your water cup and take out your small brush and get ready for the next step. All right, so we're going to use our small number 2 brush for the next step. We're going to be painting the first layer of our mouth and our first layer of our eyes. And the 2 colors that we're going to be using are black and white. So I'm going to start with my mouth first. I'm going to dip my brush in black paint. I'm going to have my mouth about 1/3 of the way down my body, my main body section. And how I'm going to do this is I'm going to draw a little circle, probably about the size of maybe like a dime. If you have a dime in your pocket or in your piggy bank, somewhere around the size of that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these, from that circle, I'm going to pull out these little pointy parts on the side of the mouth. So one, I'm going to do it on the right side, and I'm going to do it on the left side. So they just, these little pointy parts that come out the mouth. That's all I'm going to do for the mouth right now. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to make 2 little pupil parts for my eyes. So I'm going to have these come up directly from the corners of the mouth. So go right up about kind of in the bottom portion of your of this oval. And I'm going to make 2 more circles about the size of dimes with black paint. So something like that. And then I'm going to come over to this side and make 1 more on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my small brush and we're going to put white for the rest. So wash and dry your small brush once you have those circle parts, the pupil parts. So I washed and dried my brush. Now I'm putting white paint on my brush, which might be a little bit hard for you to detect white on white, but what you want to do, you're going to make these big circles about the size of maybe a $50 or maybe bigger, a little bit bigger. So you don't have to go all the way around the black. You're just going to go to the left hand side here. You're going to kind of outline it. And you're just going to make that white area. And you'll see in a minute, when you do this at home, you'll be able to see that white on top of your canvas. And then I'm going to do the same thing over on this side and paint it in white. And we need that white paint on there. Even though your canvas is white, the white paint on top of the white canvas is going to help to make it so it stays nice and clean. The canvas itself, if you don't put paint on it, over time it will get dirty. So what I'm going to do now, since I've got that done, is we're going to switch brushes to our medium brush. So once you get the black mouth, the black pupil, and the white part of the eyes, you put your small brush away in your water cup and take out your medium round brush and get ready for the next step. All right, so what we're going to do for the next step, we are using our medium number 12 round brush, and we are painting the fins. So the colors I'm going to be using are white, yellow, orange, and red. And I'm going to do this kind of like in a stripy fashion, and I'm not going to wash my brush throughout the process, so that way I have a variety of colors. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just start with my bottom fins. So I'm going to put all 4 colors on my brush at the same time. So I have white, yellow, orange, and red, and I just dip my brush into all 4 colors. And these bottom fins kind of look like the bottom part of a pointy oval, maybe. I don't know how else to describe it. Or like the leaf on a plant. So they just kind of go out and then pointy at the bottom. And then I'm just going to kind of fill them in with these little stripes. You want to make sure you have white on your brush, because if you don't have white on your brush, it's going to be really see-through. And you want this to kind of, it can be a little bit see-through, but you want to try and have a good amount of paint on your brush so it is nice and bright and you don't have to press hard, and it'll leave this nice bright color on there for you. Now I'm going to do, let's go with the head next. So we're going to do the feathers coming off, or feathers. There's no feathers on a goldfish, I don't think. It's just fins, I think. They're just fluffy fins. So again, I'm going to go white, yellow, orange, and red, and I'm not cleaning my brush, and this is going to come right out of this triangle part that you have here. So I'm going to just kind of go up and over, and you can have a whole bunch of fun with this. You do want to make sure you cover up this whole triangle, so just put enough paint on there so you can't see the triangle, and I'm going to make this really big and fluffy, so I'm just going to kind of keep adding all these paint stripes up here. You can have a whole lot of fun with this and just make it big and fun, and this is the piece of the goldfish that is really going to propel them out far into that sea. So really have a lot of fun with it. Make sure you use white and just keep adding these stripes onto it, and it's going to end up being really, really fun. And then we're going to do the same type of brush stroke that we just did here for the wings that come wings. I don't even know what these are. So the fins off the side, they look like wings, I guess, a little bit. So same colors, white, yellow, orange, and red. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come just a little bit down past the eye, and I'm going to do one like that. And I'm going to come maybe to about here. I'm going to do one like this, and then all the other ones are going to kind of go in between. So you can have fun. Just keep loading your brush with white, orange, red, yellow, whatever colors you want. You can have some really long ones, maybe some sticking out, maybe some go off the canvas. Just have a whole bunch of fun with this. You can have some shorter ones, you can have long ones, have a bunch of fun with this, and this is going to make it look like it can really swim pretty far. I'm going to do another one over on this side, come just down below that, the eyes. I'm going to do one out that way, one out this way, and then all of my other ones are going to kind of be in a similar direction. So I have them with a little bit of a curve on them, so that way they look like they're, you know, kind of have little independent pieces to them. And I'm just adding some more white here. And then we are going to use this same brush for the next step. So once you get your fins, I'll get it right by the end of this video. Once you get your fins all nice and done, you can wash and dry this medium brush for the next step. Alrighty, so what we're going to do for the next step is we are painting the body and the head. I'm going to use my medium brush, and I'm going to use the same 4 colors that I did for the fins, which are white, yellow, orange, and red. And what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to put orange and red on my brush, and I'm going to kind of outline my eyes and my body, so that way I have a visual separation between where the head is and where the body is. So I have orange and red on my brush, and I can see where my white area is for my eyes that I did initially. So I'm just kind of giving that a nice outline so I know where that eye part is. So again, orange and red, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And you'll be able to see where your white area is. And if you go a little outside of it, that's okay. Okay, so that's going to start that. And now I'm going to use that same color combination and outline this bottom part. So again, this way, it kind of brings your fins together, gets them to touch that body. Oh, and I'm also going to outline the mouth. I forgot that I was going to outline the mouth too. But once you have that done, you can take that same color combination and outline your mouth if you want to. So outline eyes, body, and mouth before you paint the whole thing. And this way you can have the mouth will show up separately. And now the fun part, I'm going to go back into that white, yellow, orange, and red. And now I'm just going to color in the rest of the body. So the body I'm going to do kind of like in a circle with these colors. And you can use yellow and white. You can use any combination you want to. If you use a little bit more yellow and white as you get towards that mouth, it'll make it look like it's kind of popping out a little bit more. But you can make it as light or as dark as you want. This is your cool goldfish. You can have it as bright or as dark as you want to. If you can try and get enough paint on there where you can hide those pencil marks, that's great. And that just means use more white and a heavier, more paint on your brush, and that'll help you to cover those pencil marks. Or you can do a second coat. So if you're finding that you're really seeing your pencil marks, let it dry for a minute, and then you can put a second coat on it, and that'll help you to hide anything that might need hiding. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to finish my head. So again, I'm just using the same color combination, but you can do more yellow if you want to, or more white. It's, you have fun with this and make it as colorful as you want to. And I'm just kind of making sure I get that color all the way to the water's edge, and just kind of painting this in here. I want it to kind of look like it goes up into those feathers up top. Feathers. I'm going to keep calling them feathers, I'm sure of it. We'll call them fins if I remember. But so what if my fish has feathers? Maybe he's going to fly away someday. All right. So now that we've got that all colored in, and I can't see any of my pencil marks, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to switch brushes to my small brush. So once you get this step done, you can put the medium brush away in your water cup, have a bite of your delicious cookie, and get ready for the next step. All right, so what we're going to do for the next step, we're going to use our small brush and we're going to finish the eyes. So I'm going to be using blue and white, and I'm going to put them both on my brush at the same time. And I'm going to do the colored part of the eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go right around the black part. So I've got the blue and white on my brush, and I'm making an outline around my black part. And then I can bring it as big as I want to. So if you want to have a big colored part, you can bring it really far into the eyes, you know, really far into the white part. If you want it to be small, you just make a small little outline around the pupil. But that part can be as big or as small as you want. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm going to bring it right along and outline my pupil part. A little wet color on my brush, that's okay. And then, oops, too much paint on my brush. And then I'm going to bring this somewhere out to there and just color it in with blue and white. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly wash and dry my brush because I need to put a sparkle dot in the eye. So I'm washing and drying that small brush, and I'm going to use just white paint on my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a couple of marks in the black area of the pupil. So I'm going to do maybe a little dash and a dot, and maybe I'll do the same on the other eye, a little dash and a dot. And then there is, after we get this step done, there's one final little step to do, and it's going to be with the small brush. So wash and dry that small brush and get ready for the next step. All right, so here we go on to the final step. What we're going to be doing is signing it. I'm going to use my small brush. I'm going to sign mine in the bottom left or the bottom right corner with black paint. You could sign it with any color paint. I guess you could do it with red or orange or blue, but I'm going to do mine in the bottom left. I'm going to do my initials. You could do your first name. You could do the date. You could do whatever you'd like. This is your painting. You sign it whatever way you want to. And that is going to conclude this painting. I hope you enjoyed your cookies. I hope you love your painting. I think they're super cute. So for me, I don't know, maybe I feel like mine looks like it's coming in for a cute kiss. Maybe yours looks like it's ready to have a conversation with you or smiling at you, but I really hope you enjoyed the process and love your painting. And I look forward to painting and eating some cookies with you again sometime.
Yum yums.